Hello, my friends. I'm Jeremy Pope, and today we're doing Belief 2 out of 100. We are looking at the family dimension, primarily, which is what we're focused on in the voyage right now. Parents, partner, and progeny. Your vision, identity, beliefs, and execution with parents, partner, and progeny. Please don't execute your family. You can execute with your family, but do not execute your family. That's not what we're talking about here. Today, we're going to look at the belief, I can't hear God. That's what we're starting with right there. I have heard this from several of my Christian clients, and I'm a Christian as well. And so this one's very important to us, and I want to make sure that we hit this in a useful way. There are a few directions that this one can go. Anytime you have a limiter belief, it can go a couple of directions. It can go to identity or it can go to injustice. So in general, the world, how the world works. So I can't hear God. That might be about your feelings and your beliefs and your fears and your anger about you or about God, about you or about the way He set up the world, things like that. So those are the two fundamental places. And there are a few other things. I'm afraid I'll never learn because I'm not good enough, because I want something impossible. This is a capability identity, and this is a worth identity. So these are the two subcategories that I use most frequently, capability and worth inside the identity category. And then because I want something impossible is more the injustice category. Now, I want to take a look at the consequences of believing something like this first. I'm going to give some examples here, and feel free to pause and look at the screen. So I want something impossible. God doesn't speak clearly to anyone anymore. Hearing God is unrealistic for humans in general. God makes communications too ambitious for anyone to rely on. People who say they hear God are misinterpreting things. Limiters are about getting to your goals. So this is for people who have a goal of hearing God clearly. The first, roughly third here, are focused on injustice and how the world works, how you believe the world works. And then the next third is about capability, what you're doing. Just see if any of these resonate. And then the last third is about your worth. I'm not worth God talking to. I'm too flawed or sinful to be spoken to. I can't tell you how many Christians I've talked to who still deal with this kind of thing, and I dealt with it for many years before I started understanding His unconditional love, His truly unconditional love for me. Let's take a look at some of the consequences of believing that for a moment. I want something impossible. With your parents, you might dismiss their spiritual input as naive or outdated. You might have anger around that. With your partner, you might avoid sharing your spiritual vision. You might frame it as unrealistic. With your progeny, you might be teaching them not to expect guidance or seek it, even though you want it. If you're not demonstrating it, if you're not having it, then you may be limiting their ability to get past the same type of limiter. So take a look at these consequences and pause at any point that you want to. Just see if these resonate with you. DM me if you want the whole list. So those are some of the consequences of the injustice type. And then if we go to worth, I'm not worth God talking to. God prefers other people over me. I've disqualified myself somehow. I'm too flawed or sinful to be spoken to. I'm uniquely unworthy of that kind of relationship. God avoids speaking to me specifically. Anything here that resonates or that's useful, you can play with it. But you can easily see, I'm sure, how believing this version of it would cause you to start doing this thing, would start causing your kids to compare themselves or have rivalry perhaps with themselves or with friends, etc. So that's the worth. And then the identity capability. I'm not smart enough. This part is ChatGPT, so I would probably I'd probably put in worth. But notice there's a lot of enough type things, even in the capability area. So it goes back to identity for sure. Remember, if there's anger about any of these things, injustice, anger lives on top of fear. Usually a fear that something cannot be rectified, it can't be made right, and that's where anger comes in. I learned a long time ago from Scott McFall that anger is from the perception, whether true or untrue, of justice denied. And so, why do we get angry about denied justice? Well, we only get angry about it when we're afraid it cannot be made right. So, what do you do about this? Once you know what your fears are and you see what the consequences could be there, you can start building vision to let's deal with this kind of belief. What do we do about it? Well, let's start by fixing it. I want you to understand what to do to fix this. First of all, treat it like it's important. If this is really important to you, treat it like it's important. Give it time. Don't just talk about it. Use your whole self, not just your words. Writing it and dictating it is the start, not the end. Then you need to use somatic techniques. You need to use techniques that are going to get at all 5 of your senses, not just words. Labeling it is good. There's nothing wrong with labeling it. That is the beginning. You need to use techniques like we use in The Voyage, Snow Globe, 3D Mind, other parts type play. If you do any shadow work or parts work, you may have a good start on some of this stuff already. Then it's going to need your focus. Go after the other beliefs in the cluster. These kind of beliefs always have friends. Worth beliefs, identity capability and identity worth beliefs, and injustice beliefs, they always have friends. You might find 17 friends. You can one-shot these beliefs with 3D Mind, with Snow Globe, things like that. But they're going to have friends. You have to get them all. Then you maintain your foundations and you guard your gains. You keep this you keep the room clear. Then you're going to flag. Journal. Mood journal, ChatGPT, daily journal chat, a spreadsheet. If you don't pin it down, it slips away. The pen is the pen. Remember, limiters fall into 2 overall categories: identity, I am, or injustice, life is. So that's what you need to be doing in order to deal with this kind of belief and be able to make such a huge difference with your parents. If you want to switch these kinds of consequences around and start understanding your parents better, if you want to engage in deeper discussions with your parents and understand where they're coming from when you previously couldn't, if you're wanting to be able to get a shared vision with your partner, if you're wanting to re-engage with your kids and inspire them, if you're wanting to, I don't know, that's enough. You already get the consequences there. Just flip those around. That's all I've done there. But I want to get the point across that not being able to hear God is okay. It's not ideal for a Christian. It's not what God wants for us, but it's okay. Wanting is the starting point there. Fear leads you into weird places. That's the real limiter. So, flag, fix, and focus to move forward fast. Oh, I'm just now realizing on day 2, that's a lot of F's. All right. Well, comment belief if you want me to show you one of your beliefs in DMs. And I want to remind you, you do this with 12 beliefs or so, and you will see a significant difference in the way you move forward toward your goals with your parents, partner, and progeny. I needed 3 P words. That's why I didn't call them kiddos.